in one statement. I'm a 14-year-old elf who has been on his own for at least 3 years because his parents told him, "Go away, we don't want you."
That's actually super tragic. My God.
Yep.
It's more tragic than anything else that I've heard, really, because, I mean, even if your parents die, I mean, that's one thing, but for them to still be alive and just say, no, please go away.
I didn't live up to their standards. And they just said, "You're not doing good enough, go away."
Isn't like a 14-year-old elf like 5?
Effectively.
Oh, God.
They're clearly wonderful people.
Well, to be fair, 14 years is a good long time to get pissed off at somebody.
Yep.
Especially in elf years. I don't know if people saw before, but the 5th, Kenny, he's not going to be able to make it. He's actually in the hospital right now, so
Yeah, I saw.
I was talking to him earlier, so I hope he's okay. He should be good for next week, though. But
That's crazy.
yeah, the way he told it to me, like he was having like some issue with his heart, so he's getting looked at. So, and it's crazy. Like he's he just retired recently, so it's probably maybe for the best. I don't know. For that, he's missing tonight to check that out. So I do apologize for that. So we're going to be short one person, but that's okay. Hey, Theta, are we rolling?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bless you. Getting it all set up now on the stream there. I'm just getting like my links ready and all that stuff.
I'm reminding myself of what my spells do.
You you went wizard, right?
Yep. Actually,
I did take a peek at your list. It's a pretty interesting list.
I really don't need to look into what most of my spells do. They make sense.
Title says it all.
Most of them, a lot of them are based around crafting. Beyond that, I also have Identify. I can break into stuff. And of course, Magic Missile and Stone Fist.
Almost everybody gets Magic Missile, basically. It's like almost a given.
But when I cast Magic Missile, it's one level higher.
Really?
How'd you get it upcast?
It's because of... It was part of being wizard. It's or either that or it's something I chose.
Oh, is it your school?
Gifted. I think it's Gifted Adept.
Oh, that's like a trait, right?
Yes. Yeah. So Gifted Adept. Pick one spell when you choose a trait from this point on. Whenever you cast that spell, its effects manifest one level higher.
Nice.
I figured I'd pick the automatic hit.
Okay, then. Well, I guess we can get started. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
All right. And good evening to the folks that are listening in the chat that are out there. Welcome to Session 0, Session 0.5, the first session, however you want to call it, to Pathfinder First Edition. I'm going to be your GM for this one. My name's Rob. And here we got a pretty eclectic crew of folks who are willing to go on an adventure. So I guess for those that are here, if you want to like introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves and all that stuff, if you have anything to plug, now's the time to do it, and we'll do it at the end of the session as well. So we can start from my immediate left on my screen, which is actually Theta this time.
Yeah, Theta, streamer.
Simple, to the point. I love it. By the way, for those who don't know, this is his channel, so make sure to subscribe to his channel. Then we got Arcloid.
It's a Mark Lloyd. I have nothing yet to plug. I've played D&D 3 and 3.5, a couple games of Pathfinder, but not enough to really get deep into the rules.
That's okay. I don't think even people who know these rules like the back of their hands can get deep into them either, sometimes. We got Justin.
All right. Yes, I am Justin. I've very quickly become a regular player here on the channel, as well as I've started my own One Bad Roll. Currently, we run D&D every Tuesday night at 7, and within the next month, I'm looking to confirm and get going on a vampire game on Mondays as well.
Nice. Vampire Masquerade.
Yes, V5. I was going to do 20, but V5 has a lot more material to sort of copy from for ease of creation.
Cool. And then last but not least, we got Gary.
Yeah, Gary, first game on the channel here. I don't have anything to plug myself. I'm just a guy who likes to play and was looking for games.
There you go. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. So the campaign, we're doing a first edition campaign. It's an adventure path. For those who don't know that are usually like watching this type of stuff, an adventure path is just a series of books basically that travel all the way from like level 1 to like level 18 to 20, somewhere around that range. And I'm hoping that we will actually get to that to the tail end of this, because I actually do like this adventure path. I have read through it. It's called Ironfang Invasion. It was released in 2017. And I don't want to spoil too much other than that. So I do have this lovely little map that is set up right now, which is kind of going to be most of the area that you're going to be traveling on. Let's put it that way. And I got like a couple of little things on there, and I'll explain it as we go through it. But before we do that, I wanted to spend maybe the first hour or so of the session 0 here, just to get into character stuff, character creation. Everybody has pretty much either based off of what you told me, you don't have a lot of experience in creating characters previously, never done it before, or you're like Justin and you're just a machine and an expert.
Yeah. I've made way too many characters. I have at least 5 in my head at all times.
That is impressive. How do you pick which one you use?
I usually balance it based off the group, either what they need or what will cause the most problems.
And which one is it this time?
This time, actually, on this channel, I've only really gone with what will cause the most problems, and I'm going to continue that trend.
Yeah, it sounded like it's gonna turn something problematic at some point. I'm sure what you were saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Charisma 9 and Constitution 8.
I think what's my charisma? I think it's only at 8, so I think we'll get along just fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh dear. This is a low charisma party, I think. Oh no, Arcloid, I think your guy has a decent charisma, is that correct?
Yeah, 8.
No.
Am I the face of the party?
You had a 9?
Oh, it's gonna be great. Can't wait for social encounters.
If I'm the face of the party, I'm down for it.
No, we're good. We're good. Theta actually is the face. He has an 18 in charisma.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I'm a smart boy. I'm a smart boy, and I'm real and I'm real good at dexterity.
Hey, you know what? That's sometimes all you need. So, let's actually go into a bit of character stuff. So the way I like doing it is usually I would actually have people create the character as we go. but because of the complexities of Pathfinder and crunchy games like this, there's no point in doing that because we'll be here all night. So I had everybody kind of preempted and just come in with at least something and a basic idea and backstory and whatnot. And the way I like doing this type of stuff is I like asking questions like, what's your parents' names or something, weird questions like that, because you never know. They might show up in the game. I'll find a way, at least, to make them show up, if that makes any sense, even if it is an adventure path. There will always be, there's, written parts, and there's always going to be parts that I'm going to add to as we go. But for the most part, we're going to try and stick to it. We'll see what you guys do, because in my experience, everything always goes off the rails by session 2, so it doesn't really matter. But we'll see what happens there. So, Justin, since we're talking about your character, how about we introduce you first with your character, the elf. Is that correct? Forvel? Am I saying that right?
You are. You absolutely are.
Oh, please tell me about Forvel.
Well, Forvel is a lovely, lovely individual. Everyone likes him until they talk to him. He is a 14-year-old elf. He is very short, very scrawny. And overall, he just does whatever he does what he can to get by. Real smart. Helps people, teaches them to read. Doesn't have one solid job. But he is also a wizard who is learning from books that he's found that have got him to the point he's at so far.
I was actually going to ask that. How'd you get your wizard training?
Oh, I found the books, and I was naturally smart, so I figured it out.
Are you hoping to continue that training?
Oh, absolutely. He just hasn't found someone who's willing to help him. They're all assholes. I don't know why.
Oh dear. And by the way, when we say he's a 14-year-old elf, we're talking the age 14, not the actual teenage years in elf years 14 here.
100%. His entire age is 14.
So I'm guessing that's 6 or 7 or whatever in elf years. So I don't know.
Yep, he's been fending for himself ever since he was, I'm going to say, 11.
So about 3 years now?
Yep.
Where did he originally live?
He originally lived in an estate hidden away in a forest. His parents are quite important, and they like to keep themselves private.
So they're kind of secluded. They got their own sort of mansion in the woods somewhere.
100%.
All right. Are they local, in this area you're in, this country you're in, or
yep.
No?
Yes.
Okay. And why did he leave?
He was kicked out.
Why was he kicked out?
He was not performing well enough in what they were trying to teach him.
What were they trying to teach him exactly? Just business or something like that in the household, or?
Part of it was business, part of it was military formation, and the other part of it was physical fitness.
Oh, so they were getting him ready to be in the army.
100%. They were trying to prepare him to be a soldier, even though he had medical problems and could not run.
Medical problems? Explain.
He's just never been able to really put on mass or maintain that much health. There always seems to be something up.
So he's naturally skinny.
Yes.
I'm jealous already. So he's been on his own for 3 years, and he's just been roaming around the areas here, or?
Yeah. He's stayed in a couple orphanages from time to time. He's stayed at churches. He'll really stay wherever he can. A lot of the time, he helps out blacksmiths and tinkerers. In exchange,
are you familiar with some of them?
What's that?
I'm sorry, I interrupted. Are you familiar with some of the local smiths around? The nation of Nirmathas here.
He definitely would be.
Okay.
The reason they let him help is because a lot of the magics from his books grant them means to craft things more efficiently.
So are they? Would you say they're taking advantage of him, or is it more mutual?
It's mutual, but at the same time, how mutual can it be when someone's helping you build like a sword that's going to make you X amount of gold, and you're letting them stay in your stable? It's like they don't trust him in the house, but he's helping them at the same time.
That makes sense. Okay. So he's been kind of just like wandering, helping out people every so often, and dealing with people that take advantage.
Yep. But there's also times where it's people who aren't, and like it's charity, and he helps people learn how to read and all of these things because he speaks a ridiculous amount of languages.
What languages does he speak?
Common, Celestial, Draconic, Gnome, Elven, and Sylvan.
A lot of those are a little bit obscure there.
It's true.
Does Forvel have any actual friends, or is that very difficult for him?
He had a friend once.
What happened to him?
He got into an argument, and apparently the other kid couldn't accept that Forvel was right. Realistically, Forvel just wouldn't let it go. So the kid was like, "I'm done with you."
That actually sounds like a lot of people I know, including myself. Sometimes I can get very stubborn. And Forvel just like walked away from it, never saw them again?
100%.
What would happen if they like see this friend again? Like, what would he do?
If he admitted that he was wrong, they'd be fine.
What was the argument about?
The argument was about pronunciation.
Oh, goodness. We're going technical correctness here?
Oh, absolutely.
Was this also like another wizard?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, so it's just like some random like farmer hand or something?
It was the son of a farmer.
Son of a farmer, okay.
Yeah, it was a gnome, and I was correcting his gnomish pronunciation.
So the elf was correcting the gnomish pronunciation of something?
Yes, but I was correct.
Oh, God. Oh, this is going to be fun then. Any other things that you want to share, or do you think you're good?
The only things I'm going to add in there to cause more problems is he does have two older brothers, both who are very, very close to their parents and will probably never leave home because they are that committed to everything their parents say.
What are your parents' names and your brothers' names?
Brothers' names I'm figuring out, but my father is Nyalin, and my mother is Skydrin. I got it.
You're gonna write in chat? Okay.
Yeah.
Nyalin and Skydrin. I like that. Mother is Skydrin again? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also going to put that in here, too, just so everybody else can see it. And once you figure out the two brothers, let me know for them. How old are they? They're, like, much older than you, like in their hundreds?
Yeah, 100%. I was an accident.
Oh, you were an accident?
Yeah.
I didn't even know elves can have accidents.
Neither did I.
Good to know. I'm trying to think. Now, you said they were being trained, like they're like connected to their parents at the hip. Are they actually trained fighters and soldiers already?
Yes.
Okay. Have they been away from home long or not?
Absolutely. They've been away from home a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah, they've gone on and fought. They're very skilled. They're very skilled combatants. They are very good at wielding the family weapon, which is a longsword. Which is the weapon that I have. I'm not very good with it, but I have one.
Okay. One more question. Your parents were also military?
Yes.
So it's like a family lineage.
They are originally military from a different area of the world.
Ah.
They believe this area's military is too weak and soft. Like they
Oh.
get the equivalent of they get these things called like days off, which they
Did
don't
you-
understand.
Okay, I know exactly where your parents came from. They came from literally across the border, I think, because the nation that's right next door is super militant like that.
Yeah, 100%. They're the equivalent of okay, every morning you wake up, you do this, days off don't happen. This is the way it goes.
All right, I like the sound of that. Any other things you want to share? You're good.
I will only share the fact that I'm real bad with money, aka poverty stricken. So yeah, I might be a bit of a freeloader if I have to be.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult then, probably in the towns for sure.
But no, that is the lovely individual known as Forvel Novawood.
Well, actually, I have one more question. I'm sorry to
It's all
end it like
good.
this. Is the Novawood family well known within the nation of Nirmathas?
Absolutely.
So they were probably like well-respected military people then, perhaps?
Oh, 100%. There's a long line of generals and mighty deeds. All of them physical, by the way.
Also interesting. All right.
Magic is mixed in there because they are elves, but it's
Yeah.
not very much mixed in there.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And that is for Vel. So next on my list then is, we're just going to go reverse order, I guess. Arkloyd.
Hello, I'm Mark Lloyd. I have created Anton Bartz, a human rogue.
So tell me about Anton.
I'm not sure what his homeland would be. I figured it might be neighboring this province. But basically, he's come from a family of craftsmen. You know, everybody's very good with their hands, very artistic. They make very beautiful as well as functional pieces of art, or whatever they're making is both beautiful and useful, basically. And
What kind of crafts?
Well, I've never really decided on those of his family yet. I mean, I could just pull some out of my butt and write them down. But Anton's main craft is that of locksmithing.
Oh, okay. So that's actually a very specialty craft there. Like, so he can build locks and keys and all that.
He can build them, repair them, take them apart, put them back together.
Does he? Is Anton like actually a businessman who goes around dealing with that, or no?
I'd say where he originally had been, he had a, I guess you'd have to call it a storefront as well as a workshop that he would go to, and he'd usually have other people do the business end of it. Not like crunching, well, yeah, maybe crunching the numbers, but also like dealing with people because he's not really a people person.
Very antisocial.
I wouldn't say antisocial, but more awkward.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, like, he's good at the building part. He's good at, but somebody else does all the salesmanship part, and he had a shop. And where does the rogue aspect come in? Because you said he's a rogue. Is he just like naturally like agile or something?
Naturally agile, but he also does a sort of reverse protection racket where he'll go out in the night, rob somebody using a competitor's product, and then they will usually, in the next morning when they're dealing with that, get a letter or a courier offering his services at a discounted rate.
So he robs somebody, then sends them a letter saying, "Hey, I heard you got robbed. Maybe I can help you with that."
Yes.
Gee, what a racket! I love it. Has he ever been caught before doing that?
That's why he's coming to this area now. One
Why,
too
he's
many
been-
questions have been asked, so he's moving shop.
Oh, so he's like skipping town and trying to get away from something.
Yes.
Is anybody pursuing him?
I'll leave that up to you. I will say he doesn't know if anybody is or not because he thinks he's left early enough. But if you want to throw that wrinkle in, then go right ahead.
Oh, but don't give me much. I will throw it in. Any ties, friends, family, folks he trusts?
Well, of course, there's his family. He shares a sort of bond with them because they're all very good with their hands, of course. Very creative people. They talk, they joke, they make each other laugh.
How old is Anton anyway?
I was going to have him at 25, but I made him a little closer to my own age. He's now 35.
Okay. So he's been in the game for a while.
Yes.
And so you said like one too many times got caught doing this, so now he's basically like trying to set up shop elsewhere.
He got close to getting caught. Close enough where he was like, well, shit, time to go.
Okay, well, shit, time to go. Why did he choose to come to Nirmathas?
Lots of new. This is like a frontier town, right? I need to read the Ironfang Invasion booklet. I
That
started to, but
that's all right. The entire nation's a frontier town, to be fair, so it could be anywhere in Nirmathas.
well, there's good opportunity for up and coming businessmen to really rake it in when they're going to a place where nobody has locks yet and where everybody's going to want them. He figures he's got it good. He's made the right choice.
Oh. All right. Where is there any like contacts or anybody you know or trust that you are accompanying or with or anything like that?
I hadn't thought about that just yet, but he could have a stoolie or informant that's coming with him that we could flesh out. Somebody that knows him, the good jobs, or he's the courier that Anton sends out. Say, hey, I heard you've been robbed. That sort of thing.
So he has his own personal courier, like to hand out pamphlets.
Who he has doing small jobs and whatnot that he'll pay for the work, of course, but they're a little closer than business associates usually are. Like maybe he could be a childhood friend.
Oh, okay. And so also a human?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not racist, right?
That you can make it whoever you want, really. Does your friend have a name?
Well, I just made him up, so not quite yet. I could get one.
It's all right.
In fact,
I
have.
I was gonna ask. Do you have like a name generator?
I'm usually pretty good at making up my own names. I just don't like trying to do it on the spot all the time.
No, I'm sorry. Then I don't mean to
I come
pressure.
up with names like Arcloyd, and then they stick with me for years.
Any other things you want to share about Anton then?
Well, aside from the thievery, he's a pretty well-adjusted person. He make a good member of society. And I don't know. Other than that, he's about the most remarkable thing about him would be his dexterity score of 20. So he's a speedy little fuck.
So he's fast and pretty light on his feet.
But horribly awkward. And also very skinny. That's
Like when you say awkward, you mean like
socially.
Oh, socially awkward. Okay, and also skinny.
Yes.
We're gonna have this I think we're gonna have a very skinny party here at this rate.
Yeah, I bought less than I normally would for a thief character, and he's at medium load.
Hey, that's not bad. Usually, I remember playing thieves a lot. Usually, like they're always like at heavy because you have to have like one of everything for every situation. Like that's how I always play a thief.
See, I got lucky because I rolled real bad on money, so I had to be smart.
We'll get to the more wealthy members of the party a little later. Anything else, Arcloyd?
Just came to me. His friend who is coming with him, his partner in crime, Benjamin Stoff, Stoph.
Benjamin Stoff. I like it. So I definitely have to make a token for him now. And anything else, or is that it?
Well, I'll get into fleshing out his family over the next week, so you'll have some names there if you ever need them.
Sure, if you want to share them, that's perfectly fine.
I'll just put them in the bio and info section of the sheet. Sorry, I'm not quite as detailed as our little elf, but
it's all right. It's all right. I got to be honest with you. I wanted Justin to go first, just to kind of ease in, sort of how I like asking questions and whatnot, so everybody else can get like an idea of it. And I figured Justin might be able to handle the randomness.
oh yeah, my characters tend to grow more as I play them than before I play them, and
so we'll see how what Anton becomes versus what he is.
Well, he is what I've said, but he'll grow into more.
I look forward to seeing that too.
Well, I hope I don't disappoint.
Yeah, we'll definitely see for sure.
I can make a token for Benjamin, or you can get one, either or.
I actually have like hundreds of tokens I can give you if you want. Like, or how about this? Can you describe what he might look like? Like, is he short, tall, fat, thin, bald, full of hair?
Well, I could go the whole Don Quixote dichotomy of a skinny guy and a fat guy, but let's make him more able to blend into a crowd and be of average build. Maybe a little thinner than us. And
so very nondescript, basically.
Right. Although he is pale of skin, like he doesn't see that much sunlight. And let's say his most memorable feature is he is astonishingly hairy.
Like orangutan hairy?
Well, you can't really quite braid his back hair, but he is hairy.
Oh God, braiding back hair?
Wrong button.
I'm sure you could on an orangutan, but like astonishingly hairy for a human. We'll put it that way.
Okay. I think I can swing a token for that. Thank you so much, Arcaloid.
No problem. Look forward to hearing about everybody else's characters.
Next up, we're gonna go with Mark. Not Mark. Gary. Why did I say Mark? Jesus, I'm so sorry, Gary. I screwed up your name already.
I have no idea. I don't know where Mark came from. But I think
Yeah,
it's
why
been
did I
called
say
Mark
Mark?
before, so...
That's even worse. What the hell?
Yeah, it's weird. I guess we just have a Mark face or something.
So, your character is, I'm trying to remember the name. Is it like Vorel or Coryell? Am I saying that correctly?
Coryell.
Coryell, okay. So tell me about Coryell.
Yeah, Coryell is a half-elf. I, this time around, I decided to try to do something a little bit simpler, so I just went with a straight fighter. So, the background for him is, he comes from a family of woodcutters. And, his dad is a human, his mom was an elf. They came down from the north, from the holds of Belkzen, escaping orc raids and whatnot. So he grew up in Nirmathas, so he's been woodcutting in the forests there for a while. And then basically he kind of got sort of conscripted / volunteered for what was going on whenever the what is it? What's the head of the military in Nirmathas? It's the marshal.
Yeah, the Marshal.
Yeah, the marshal came through looking for volunteers, but also kind of like letting people know we need people to fight at the Molthune border and fight orc raids coming from Belkzen and whatnot. So his mom had died years before when they were coming through, so he was raised, in the woods by his dad, him and his brothers, just cutting wood and sending it down the rivers and whatnot. So he volunteered, but it was kind of, not wasn't required, but it was sort of like, we need people and we're just going to take them if we really need them. So he went ahead and went along, and he's been fighting on the borders for a couple of years, and it's really gotten to him, and he is a deserter.
Oh, really? So, like, he deserted the field, the Marshal and all the...
Yes, it started to get to him, and so, like, when I bought his equipment, I basically picked a lot of lower level kind of stuff, because I assumed, the way I thought of it was like he just grabbed anything he could in the night and anything light that wouldn't weigh him down, and he just took off, and he's just trying to make his way back home.
Where in Nirmathas have they settled? Or is
I'm
he
not
going
really
back to Belgium?
sure. I don't know. Probably further towards the north, towards like the Mindspin Mountains and whatnot. They probably haven't gotten too far south. So whatever forests up in there, in that region.
Okay. And is his father still alive?
Yeah, father's still alive, and he has 2 older brothers.
Are the older brother also fighting? Or are they with the father?
They're still back at home. It was kind of like the oldest brother was going to stay behind just because, he's the eldest. The middle brother didn't join up, and so Coryell kind of decided to hop on board and be the one member that would go along and help out.
Okay. What made him actually join the military at first? You said it was like just sort of like a choice of his.
Yeah, it was implied that they needed people and they didn't want to draft people because in this area it's not going to be a very popular decision, but he decided to go ahead and jump on because they needed people, and also, raised on stories of how they had to flee from the orcs in Belkzen and whatnot, and, knowing what the borders are like in Nirmathas, he decided he could probably go ahead and sign up and, try to help beat things back, and it just wound up being way too much for him.
Did how long? Well, actually, let me ask this first: was he militarily trained with Nirmathas?
Nope, they've been cutting wood and running through the forest and whatnot. So he's hardy, he's pretty strong and he's pretty hardy because he's lived out in the woods and whatnot. And I have him fighting with an axe because he knows how to use an axe, of course. So, but no, he didn't have any actual like training beforehand. He got some when he signed up. So that's why I gave him, like, I think the one of the traits was the armor expert. So he got some training in actual like armor and tactics, but he's not like a fighting master. He's more of like a frontline skirmisher. It's like, okay, grab a weapon, grab a shield, charge forward, hack, and then get away.
Hit and run style.
Yeah.
With the rest of, I guess, like Rangers and other people that were fighting in Nirmathas, is he familiar with like is there like a unit or a group that he knows very well, or like he might still be in contact with before? I guess
don't
before
know.
he deserted.
He's definitely not in contact with anyone. He made some friends, I'd say, but I don't think he's still in contact with anyone. I don't really know how the Nirmathas military would even be made. I mean, it seems like it'd be a more loose kind of coalition of people just, all right, get a group together and send them over there, and they'll do the best they can.
That's kind of pretty close to it, yeah.
That's what
There's
it
like-
seemed like.
There are like different. It's in a weird way. There's like different groups, and they have like all these like different names and whatnot. But that's
Right.
it.
Yeah,
What was the name
I
of
wouldn't
the?
think of anything like that.
Did your group actually have a name, or was it just like, hey, this is where you're going?
No, it was just kind of like it was hard scrabble volunteers. They just get kind of passed around to whoever needed them the most, and they just sort of run in and fill in the blank spots for, anybody that's lost people. It's like, all right, I got a couple people here you can take them with you, and they're going to go fight, orcs here or Molthune soldiers here or wherever.
Yeah. So that was actually my next question. Who have you fought before? Like, where on the front lines and near Molthune, near Belskin, anywhere else?
Probably more up near Belkson, more because he was close enough to there, but I'm sure, he had to get down to Molthune, because Molthune seems to be the biggest problem that Nirmathas has right now, so he's probably been down there a couple of times, so he's probably crisscrossed a little bit, probably in, like, supply convoys and stuff going around, so probably a little bit of everywhere.
What was the battle?
He's been fighting for probably about 5 years now.
That was actually my next question. Like, so it's been about 5 years. What was the battle that made him just leave?
I'd say the last one probably was down near Molthune. Probably Molthune army, like, really trying to push forward again and really break in. And it was probably just one of those times that it was just something that lasted for days and days, with Molthune just throwing people at the border and trying to push forward. And finally just had enough. He's like, I can't keep doing this anymore. I've been doing this for years, and nothing's changed, and doesn't seem like anything's going to.
How long has he been on the run?
Not long. I'd say he's probably only been on the run for about a week or two at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He just picked up in the night, grabbed some stuff, and took off.
Is that actually a common thing that you've seen previously that made you do it, or is just like, screw it, I'm out?
Yeah, I would say that probably people have, like, put down and run away in the middle of a battle, or maybe slipped away at night. But yeah, it's probably, I would imagine that with the way Nirmathas is, it's probably pretty common to see deserters. But it's still pretty fresh, so he doesn't know if anyone's looking for him, and that battle probably is still going on, so he ran, like, in the middle of a campaign, essentially.
Oh, okay. So it was like actually a front from Molthune trying to come in.
He like ran from the front.
How old is Coryell again?
He is I think I put it down as 24.
24. So he's still pretty young.
Oh yeah.
And when did his mother pass away?
When he was like a toddler, basically, when they were leaving Belkson and coming down south. Like, he'd already been born, he was like kind of a toddler, and then she died in the crossing, and so he was raised by his dad.
Okay. And did your father have a name?
Yeah, I got that, Braden Bowden.
Okay. Human or elf?
Human. Full human.
Full human. He's the human, so the mom was the elf?
Mom was a full elf, yeah. So he and his brothers are all half elves.
I hope I spelled it correctly in the chat.
There's a D in the Bowden.
Sorry.
So I've got it on the character as well. I just changed it a minute ago, so.
Nah, not a problem. And your brothers are both older, yes?
Yes.
One of them is still a woodcutter, like doing lumberjack and all that kind of stuff, and
They're both still lumberjacking. They're both. The eldest is probably gonna Like it's just like a little family affair. They probably work with some other families in the area. They just cut it and send it down the river. So no one's going to have heard of them. They're not going to be like a name in the country. They just cut the trees down and send them down to the people that actually, turn it into lumber.
Okay. And do you have any plans to actually go back to your father?
I think that's the idea. Yeah, he's trying to work his way back north and try to get back up to his family in the woods. And then after that, who knows?
Any other things that you want to share with Coryell?
I think the only other thing that I kind of had in mind was he's got a little bit of a shake to his hands. So like, if he's drinking or eating or something, his hands just have a little bit of a quiver. Because his nerves are kind of shot. And that's kind of why I had him down at such a low charisma. It's like, A, he grew up in the woods just cutting down trees, but B, he's just kind of like frayed at the edges because of, he's been bouncing back and forth, just fighting different incursions into the country.
So he's like not, I guess like the phrase would not be like shell shocked, but he's
a little shell shocked. Yeah, I think it's just
right.
he's been having stuff's been coming at him for so long that he's just kind of, he's just a little worn down.
How do you think he would react in like a situation where like a battle would take place then?
I think that he's done it enough now that probably instinctually if he saw anybody coming at him with weapons and whatnot, he could probably just like go back into that mode and start fighting. But then once the fight is done, that's probably when like the adrenaline wears off and he just sort of like, it all rushes in at him and he starts to kind of shake again.
Okay. I'm trying to think. And he was just like a skirmisher. He wasn't like any like rank or anything like that.
No, not really. He didn't command anything. He didn't, he survived long enough that people probably knew who he was. Like, enough people saw him around, saw that he made it back after certain battles. So like people know him and he knows other people, but he never like rose up or anything. It's his whole thing was he was just, you're replacement parts basically. You're here to just go and support whoever needs it, and you're just going to go in and fight. And if you survive, we're probably going to find somewhere else for you to go.
Would it be fair to say like if other folks who have actually fought on the front lines or nearby would probably recognize Coryell?
He might run into somebody, because, I mean, if he's bounced around the country enough, he might wind up in a place where there was a battle who somebody might still be there that remembers him, He was there long enough and he was able to talk to enough people.
All right. And we'll get on friendly terms with most of those people as well, or just more so?
Yeah, he's a friendly enough guy. He's just, at this point, he's just stretched a little too thin, but never really tried to make any waves or anything, just where he needed to go and helped as best as he could. So yeah, I'd say he'd probably be on pretty friendly terms with most of them.
All right. Anything else you want to share? Because that's all I got.
No, I think that's about all I got.
Is it cool if I throw out a question?
Go
is it okay if I throw it? Because I'm just curious, is the axe just something he picked up? Or was it something he's been using for since his days of cutting wood?
No, it's a battle axe, so it's not like a woodcutter's axe, which he probably also has like a hatchet or something with him. But, he knows how to swing an axe, so that's what he usually wound up using a lot. Like, I'm sure he could probably, who knows what they issued him to begin with. It might have been like a sword and shield or something, but once you get into a battle and enough people drop, you're like, oh, there's an axe, I'm pretty good with an axe, and so he probably just picked it up and started swinging it. So when he made his escape, he just grabbed whatever he could find that, he was going to look for an axe, because he could fight with it, and he can also use it to survive.
All right. Any other questions, Justin?
No, that was it.
Okay. Theta, you good?
I'm here.
All right. I love the Roy Orbison look right now.
That's what I can do, man.
I know. Can you tell me about your character? I believe it's Akon. Am I saying that right?
It's Icon.
Icon.
Yeah,
okay.
up front, I'll apologize for having the least well thought out, least original character. My Icon is a gnome Unchained Summoner. He's basically a gnomish Iron Man.
Oh, I forgot about that part, actually. Do you want me to explain it?
Sure.
All right. So, Theta chose the Summoner Unchained because, quite frankly, it's less broken than the actual Summoner, and this is how weird and wonky Pathfinder can be. But he also picked a trait or an archetype where when the Eidolon and his summon actually comes up, he turns into it. So he picked an Eidolon that, make a long story short, kind of fuses with it. So he picked an Eidolon that's kind of more robotic. I think it's an inevitable, it's called. So those are those lawful neutral, clockwork looking things. And basically that's what happens whenever he summons it. He just gets enveloped in an iron suit, and then he can fight with it. Are there any other aspects of the backstory that you can mention or that you had planned out? Because I know you had a couple of things you were thinking of doing.
No, I mean, he's a rich kid. He has noble parents. When he's not in a suit, he's decked out to the nines. He looks wealthy. He's a tinkerer. His only form of defense when he's not in his own armor is he has a gun that he made himself. He's not very good with it, but he tends to find that people back down when you point a gun at them.
Have you actually ever used the gun before on somebody?
On somebody? No, but I've used the gun before.
Fair enough. You said you're a rich kid. Are you actually from this region, or are you from a different region?
I don't know enough about the world to be able to answer that question.
I'm going to say you're from a different region, then, just to help you out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to double check then. So outside of the suit, you basically look the part of somebody who's pretty wealthy.
Yeah, I mean, his weakest stats are his physical stats, so I imagine he's more of a, I don't know, I want to use the word not emaciated, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Skinny?
Yeah, skinny, but I mean somebody who doesn't use their muscles a lot, that sort of thing. He's slow, he's slow, he's weak, he's not physically fit.
But then when he summons the Eidolon, that's when that changes.
So the Eidolon takes over for that.
Okay. I'm trying to think anything else. Anything else you want to share then, or is that pretty much it?
That's all I can think of right now.
That's all you can think of right now. All right. Well, thank you so much, because there's a good eclectic mix there. Although I love how 3 out of the 4 characters. I don't know about Gary's. I don't know about Coryell, but 3 out of 4 of them are pretty skinny. This makes this interesting.
He's also pretty skinny. He's skinny, but he's ropey. He's that ropey kind of hard frame because probably hadn't been eaten very well and exerting himself a lot. Plus, grew up cutting wood, so it's not like a big lumberjack. He's more because he's like what an elf would be as a lumberjack. He's just got that kind of like ropey frame.
So there's some muscle on him, but
yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, especially if you're a soldier.